This is exciting.
I'm excited.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here to Las Vegas. Here for the second race of Season 5 of Bubbles Cup. Carter is going to come into this season, Season 5, Race 2 round with a points lead after a clutch victory last time out in Daytona. However, he is not present for this race, so that championship lead is up for grabs. Anticipation builds as we get ready for the second round, the Samstown 300, getting ready for 150 laps here in Las Vegas. I am your host, Agent JF, and it is an absolute pleasure to be up here in the booth with the ability to bring you the race today alongside my older brother, Low Man in a Hurry. How are you doing tonight?
Hello. I'm excited. It's a beautiful day for racing.
It is a beautiful day for racing
I'm
indeed.
just spilled a Pepsi on myself.
All right. We're going to pan the camera out of the booth so that we don't have to look at that and get back down to the cars because we are lined up and getting ready to see some racing.
Who's going to win?
Bubble the Wonder Boy starting in last. He's going to win.
There's no way. There's no way he's coming from last to win this.
It's 150
Yeah,
laps.
But he's in the carnage. He's going to be in the carnage all day long.
He is the Carnage.
Actually, that's true. He is the carnage.
That's why he's going to win.
He's got plenty of cars direct in front of him.
Oh, Bubble the Wonder Boy eyeing his targets.
He's got a beautiful car, though. Power
does.
of Pride 48. That is actually beautiful.
What are you thinking for a race win here?
I haven't seen Discharge race it a little bit, and I guess he's on pole, so generally whoever's on pole, if they can stay to the carnage, they have a good shot. But usually there's Kimmy, who comes kind of at the end because of some crazy strategy. It's usually some crazy fuel save or something that puts him out late. So I'm going to go with Kimmy just because I think he's just going to pull off some crazy.
I like that call from Kimmy. I think it is important to note Discharge as we look at him in the car. It looks like he's got some wired earbuds. Somebody needs to buy that man some AirPods. It's probably a hazard in the car to have wired earbuds in. But he qualified second fastest. Cut was on pole, and then in between the time of him setting his lap and the start of the race, he decided to just left the track, hopped on a plane, is out of here, so that will have him forfeiting the pole to Discharge as we accidentally go underneath the track for a second with the camera. Not sure how the drone did that, but they went under the track for a second.
Oh, man. When are we going, bruh?
Hopefully soon. I was going to try to see what was being said here. Car in second, the number 19, telling Discharge to buy some AirPods.
I just saw the under the track shot. The stream pulled up over to the side. That's awesome.
But yeah, hopefully getting going here pretty soon. Another driver I like to shout out, Anthony, starting right behind Kimmy. Pretty solid pace from him as well. And then we've also got a couple, all three past champions in the field. Season 1 and 2 champion Bubble starting last. Just ahead of him, it'll be Fard, the 24. And then DJ, the Season 3 champion, his trophy should be coming in soon. He is in the 20 car, starting a few positions ahead of them. Decided not to use his championship provisional, qualified, and was started a couple spots higher because of it.
I'll tell you what, DJ was absolute trash last time we all raced together on a super speedway. So just look out for him to turn someone for no reason. Just say it.
Well, we'll certainly be watching for it, as it looks like Kimmy was stopped there.
Car.
That was Kimmy. And that's going to be his first reset on the night.
Oh, that would suck. Actually, how many resets do you have?
You do get one reset, so 2 cars, only 1 reset.
So we'll keep track of that. No tire wear, I guess. It's only a fuel run.
No, it is tire wear. Your tires will wear down.
Oh.
I believe you've got 6 tire sets for the entire race. That should be more than enough. But these guys they did qualifying. Their tire sets, their first stint has to be done on the tires that they qualified on. And I think important to note, I believe DJ spun out after his qualifying run, which wears down the tires immensely. So he's got flat spotted tires. I want to say I heard he was at about 70% starting the race. Everybody else is going to be around like 94.
Oh my gosh.
So everybody else lightly scrubbed tires around the 90% mark. DJ starting on 70%.
Can we see the percentage or no?
I don't think there's a way for us to see it. That's just what I heard talking to some of the drivers before the race. But we're getting the call for green this time.
So so 6 tire sets? I'm guessing, or 6 new sets is what you're saying?
Right. 6 new sets. You can always go back and use a scuffed set. You know, maybe there's an early caution. Some of these guys pit. They can always come back to this set that's, you know, 90%. Use that again.
Right. With the fuel run, though, is there anything special about that, or?
There is not. There's no fuel. It'll only be tire wear. That's the only concern here on the intermediates.
That's interesting. That is super interesting.
I want to say it's under 20% tire wear. You have a chance at a puncture, blowing a tire, and yeah, we've seen that cause some calamity before. I'm thinking back to Bristol of season 2. 4 laps to go, just about everybody was under 20%, and then finally someone blew a tire. So, but we're about to get ready to go green here.
Real quick before they do we know what percent chance it is once you get under the 20%?
I don't know for certain. It kind of runs constantly, so I don't know. I think you can make it a couple corners, but really you want to take it in the pits and not chance it.
All right, take it. Take the restart here.
Here we go. Double file. Getting ready for the green. Looking ahead at the flag man. It's discharged on the inside pole, and green flag flies, and we are green here at Las Vegas for the Sam's Town 300.
So just as they complete the first lap, one thing I noticed is Bubble is kind of crazy to run, actually. He just went around about 5 or 6 cars in one lap, dude, just running the top. It's actually insane.
Oh, and he's all over the back of that number 49 machine as he bounces off of Anthony. 3 wide in the middle right there, watching Bubble. A little bit of contact here on lap 2, but he is charging through the field. I said 150 laps. That's why he had a chance. Here he is on lap 2, looking at a top 5 spot. At the 4th, as Discharge still leads out in front.
Okay, that is actually crazy 2 laps at a Bubble. To go from last to 4th place. That's actually amazing. And if you're running the top, do you minimize the tire wear? I'm curious on that.
You do not. I think it's going to be the same, about the same, running top to bottom. The top is really fast the closer you can get to the wall here. So there's this effect with the air whenever you're right up against the wall. It kind of creates this bubble of pressure. You see Bubble right up against it. There's just that little bubble of air, and it keeps the momentum.
Look at that. Dude, he's going to get the outside of Nico there for the lead after just into the 4th lap here. After 3 laps, he's taking the lead, dude. The run was so good, he got him before he even entered the corner.
And he's ripping the top right now. No one else is even close to that high, that close to the wall, and that looks like that's where the pace is. As Bubble last to first in just over 3 laps.
This has the making of a really boring race. He just strips the top the entire time and pulls away. Dude, he's just left him. He's just completely left him. The only battle is like for, what, 5th and 6th place down there?
Yeah, let's take a look back there. I want to say last season's champion Fard in number 24. You see him side by side with some more cars. Looks like Turdy around him, Cookie right behind, and Kimmy is in that group.
Now, how did Kimmy get so far back?
I'm not sure. We were kind of busy watching Bubble wrap around the top. I imagine maybe there was a small checkup on the bottom, which also would have helped Bubble pull away. But we're starting to get a little bit more single fouled out as Oscar hits the wall in front of multiple cars. Here comes Fard to the outside with a good run, 3 wide down the front straightaway. Still side by
sure
side there.
Not sure if you could do a ton of tire saving, or if you just kind of just ride around and the percentage is what it is. But I guess with the Roblox scripting, it's just how fast you're going, right? It's not really about turning input because it's completely binary, the turning. It's just full left or nothing. So is it just down to the speed that you're carrying in the corner?
I believe it is off of the speed in the corner, but there's usually not a lot you do as a driver to kind of change it. You're kind of just going.
So maybe there's something crazy happening with tire saving that maybe Kimmy knows about, maybe all of them know about, and they're just not going to try to match the pace right now, or maybe these guys in the front are just actually so much quicker.
Yeah, I don't think these guys have the pace compared to the guys up front, as they're also fighting 3 wide. Cookie around the outside. Kimmy right behind that pack along with Anthony. They're using all of the track on the front straightaway. That's Oscar on the bottom. 3 wide, using the apron. Oh, is spinning behind. That is DJ in the 20 car. He's going to lock it down. Doesn't get any damage. We're going to stay green as we're going to jump back up to the fight here. Kimmy clears Oscar around the outside.
That's so killer for DJ, because, no caution, and he's lost all that time. Yeah, he's got a ton of ground to make up. But you never know. You never know when a carnage may occur, and then you pack everybody else.
Yeah, and I wonder if he was dealing with a little bit of, struggling with the extra tire wear he had. Obviously, he just spun again, so he's going to have even worse tires now.
Oh, my gosh.
As we see him move, Cookie trying to get to the inside of Fard, but it looks very difficult to pass on the inside. I think Cookie's got way more pace than Fard in the 24, but nowhere to go, nowhere to pass on the inside is now Kimmy going to the attack on the bottom here into turn 3.
Just as another note here, the discharge is around the outside of Nico right now, so you do have a battle for second. Bubble's still kind of just pulling away by himself, but that's your other good battle, is for second place at the moment.
And these two are kind of running closer to the bottom of the track. Bubble has gapped them a pretty good bit, over 3 seconds, but these two, the closest contenders and running different lines here. Discharge much closer to the bottom, and Nico kind of running in the middle right there in 3 and 4.
I'm just amazed at how spread out the pace difference has pulled the top 3 from everyone else. Because it's usually so close. It's usually like, maybe you have someone pull out and kind of dominate the race, but I'd say about 80% of the rest of the pack is all packed together, and now you're seeing like a little bit of good pace out of Discharge and Nico. Everyone else in the back, and Bubble just completely by himself. It's like you almost wonder if Bubble had a few practice sessions by himself or something, because he's completely destroyed the rest of the pack.
Yeah, and I think he's got a better understanding of how to run the top. Would like to note somebody asked if we read the chat, the YouTube chat on the stream. The answer to that would be no, we do not.
I might keep it up here. The live chat, so I can say something.
Bruh, it's a joke, because of course I had to read it to say no.
Okay. Oh. You got me.
Oh, as we see Discharge in the wall there a little bit. Nico going to the outside here. Side by side for second place. I looked back to the gap, and it's almost 6 seconds now. And then back behind, it looks like just a hornet's nest. I think that's Fard is leading the charge, but every other car is right there.
Dude, what are the lap times that Bubble's running right now? Because it's got to be, like, ridiculous.
Probably. And I think Fard is holding this group up just a little bit. Just kind of holding the top. It's almost impossible to pass on the bottom. But still, the pace difference is immense. As Kimmy setting up the exit. Double crossover from Kimmy. Go to the bottom 3 wide. That was pretty clean from the driver of the 21 machine. But he loses out momentum on the straightaway a little bit. He's going to drop back here.
Haven't seen Cookie race in a while. Is he usually in here?
Yeah, as of recent times. I remember January of 2024, obviously, you raced with him quite a lot in those Iro 5 races we did.
Yeah.
I remember you really loved racing against Cookie.
He's just a delightful fellow competitor. Usually sending it at the most inopportune times.
Oh, is there some tire marks up here? I'm not sure what happened there. I'm instinctively looking to click on DJ, but nothing has happened.
Discharge is in the wall.
Oh, there's got to be a caution for that. There it is. Caution is out. Discharge has to use a reset.
Well, someone said lag, but that was far, so I don't know what happened to discharge.
See if we can find a clip here.
Well, that, makes it a little bit interesting because it's put Bubble back into the hornet's nest. So all that gap that he had is completely eroded.
It's okay though, because now he has lots of cars close by him.
As long as you have cars next to you, there's a chance that you will actually not win and then just die. He's obviously the fastest car. Like, he obviously should win at this point. But you have a caution, and now anyone can send it. Anyone can send it on the restart, and if you get passed by even one guy, then the mob's there to capitalize on it.
One other thing I also didn't think about until just now. The drivers have to carry over their set of tires for qualifying. Bubble and Fard both have a championship provision, which means they can start at the back without doing a quali run, so they would have had slightly better tires than everyone else. I don't think that's all of the pace advantage, but that definitely could have played a part.
That's a great point. That's a really good point. But then doesn't that change, though, how far they can go into the race and always have a slight tire advantage over everyone else?
Yeah. And I think perhaps we need to look at a rule change now that this has been brought up. But regardless, from here, I think they can make it easily without using all 6 sets. So I think from here, everybody will be pretty equal on tires as we see pits open this time. And probably lots of people coming in once we get around to the pit entry. But I think from here, it'll be a pretty level playing.
Yeah. I was thinking, a lot of times we don't have the pits open under caution, and you have to make a stop under green. And if you didn't have that, presumably the tire advantage would always be there for Bubble. But because they're all probably going to come in now, it completely wipes away any advantage you had from the start. So now we actually get a benchmarker for true pace with all fresh tires, because I bet everyone's coming in.
Probably so. I'd say the big loser in that was obviously Bubble. The ultimate sauce winner, chicken dinner, bring it back home, DJ.
Yeah, because he's put out by himself, and now he's right there.
Let's see if we get any takers. So far, it's looking like everybody, and it's about to be a busy pit lane. Is that someone staying out? That is Axe staying out, so he will inherit the lead. And now we've got some pit stops under yellow. It's a busy pit lane.
And what's amazing, in case anyone doesn't know, they don't have particular spots designated to them. They stop anywhere they want in the pit lane. So sometimes it's a bit chaotic. They may just run into the same stall. It looks like everyone's clean though this time. But yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Everyone stops whenever they want. As long as you're in the box, you're pretty square in there. The script takes over. I forget how long the pit stop is, but the script takes over, and then
Bubbles just lost the lead on pit road. It's a good stop for Nico. As Nico wins the race off of pit road, the 25 crew working overtime in the pit lane gets him out ahead, so it'll be Axe from Nico from Bubble. That's your top 3. And
Axe is, sorry to interrupt you. Axe is going to be a sitting duck, you think, with however many laps they did, 17 plus laps or something under green. Everyone's going to fly by him, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you.
I'm not sure what the call there is or what the idea is. I mean, he has a new, an extra set of tires relative to the rest of the field. So that's something. If you think it's going to be a wreck fest, maybe that comes into play later for Axe.
Could be. I just don't see these drivers using that many sets of tires for 150 laps, 6 sets. You know, it's not a lot. You know, that'd be shorter than 30 lap stints. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not sure what percentage everyone was getting at. They would have been halfway through, you know, a 30-lap stint or just over. Do we know how far they can go before they hit that 20% marker?
I think Race Control from P3 has just sent us a message saying that Axe pitted on lap 1. We are going to go green this time, so we're getting double file, getting ready for a restart.
Kind of a late green there. Oh, Anthony was peeking down at the apron, but Bubble blocked it off, and now he's going to go 3 wide for the lead.
And they're 3 wide behind, so we've got a pack race into turn 1. Can they hold it? Looks like Anthony's giving Bubble a push on the bottom. Small advantage there, but now Nico with momentum on the top. And that bottom lane just died.
Yeah, I was going to say, you get stuck on the bottom there. You can't arc the corner. You know, you're 3 wide, 2+ wide, then there's no run you have.
You were dead right about Axe. He just got split by everybody. Here comes Fard. He's losing spots left and right. Here comes Bubble.
Gonna take a shot at him.
They're all trying to get by, and we're 4 wide into turn 1.
Oh, just a little bit washing up from Bubble into Kimmy and into Discharge, but they kept it clean, it looks like.
They're still 4 wide. Axe is coming up the track, but they keep it clean, and Axe has already lost literally everything.
That's what it did. Yeah, it seemed like it was going to happen. And he just got split again. He's going to go straight to last in just a couple laps here, because Turney's going to have the run around him on the outside.
Yeah, it looks like Fard hit the wall up ahead on the top. Now he's going to lose all that time. Drop all the way back to where Axe is. And now I'm going to keep my eyes on Bubble because he is not in the lead, and we think he has the pace. He's got the 17 car right behind him. That is Discharge on his last car. Yeah, look how much pace Bubble has. He just immediately gets to the back of him and is blowing by them.
We get to see how quick he really is now that we've got even tires. And it looks like it's about as quick as we thought, because he's about to rip the top of both.
Right around the outside. Let's go on board with Bubble for a lap here.
Dude, look at the run he has. That's crazy.
We don't even need to. He's already well into the lead. See you later.
That is insane. And now he's going to the middle of the track. I'm curious what line he runs just by himself.
Looks like Nico had a better corner. Nico's coming back to him. Is Nico going to try something desperate since Bubbles had so much more pace? He's looking.
He's got to. I can't believe he didn't send it. He's got to do. Well, here he goes. You got to take something away from him, or he's just going to leave the pack.
He's getting to him. He's getting to him. He's going to have the side draft on the front straightaway, but no momentum. And he's not getting to his quarter panel. Bubbles back clear again.
Let's see what he does here. So he's opting not to go to the top anymore.
Nico looks better right now in 1 and 2. Look at the momentum for the 25 car. Look into the outside. He's got it. If you can get to someone's outside, I think that's the place to be, because it's been hard to pass on the inside. Bubble's going to let him go. So there's still a big pack behind.
Yeah, still 3 wide. Kimmy on the bottom. It's a great battle for third right now. Oscar looking at the outside of DJ.
Yeah, great recovery from DJ here after that terrible opening stint. Oscar's in the wall. He's slow.
Man.
All the other drivers need to get around him. They do cleanly, as Anthony's coming up the track. They survive.
Well,
I
there
think.
you see. Oh, they're wrecking. They're wrecking.
Oh, that's a big one behind. Multiple cars around. Caution is out. It looks like Discharge, who's on his last car. He gets hit.
No, stay off the wall. Stay off the wall.
Oh, more cars getting into him. I think I saw Kimmy spinning as well. Kimmy is going to keep it straight, but yeah, Kimmy and Discharge.
I forgot about the reset thing. He was just being pinballed around by the field, and if he ever hit the wall, it was probably over.
Discharge showing some frustration over the radio. Bro, I actually can't.
Oh, man.
I think some words from multiple drivers. as we are going to get pits open. So pits are going to be open this time.
Cookie said me and Ant made conversing moves. Okay, so they're having a conversation on the
It
track.
sounded like they were talking to each other at the same bit of real estate on the exit of the corner. Possibly a pincer movement, which saw Discharge and Kimmy get the worst end of it.
You know, one thing is, we saw Oscar get in the wall a little bit. That's the risk you take when you're at the top. So it's so quick. But as soon as he touched that wall, all the momentum was gone. He got passed by like 4 cars in one corner.
And we should have some
See
more
if
pit
there's any
stops here.
takers.
Looks like Bubble. Now we've got some split strategy.
Mhm.
Oh, and Cookie with a late
Dude.
decision.
So all these guys staying out. Obviously, they're going to be at a disadvantage on the restart, but they have another set of tires. And I know to your point, 6 sets is a lot. You think you won't get to a point where there's so many cautions, you actually start to run out of fresh tires. But who knows? Because every single time you have a caution, you pack everybody up. You raise the probability of another caution. So you could see just a string of packing up and cautions over and over and over again. And if it gets to that point, the guys with the extra sets have an incredible advantage at the end.
Also, am I going crazy, or Bubble will just have the worst stop I've ever seen in my life, and he's exiting pits last?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Something happened there with Bubble. Let's see if we can get
That's
a very
bit weird.
quick replay of that crash there. See what happened.
By the way, while you pull that up, I saw Bubbles stop in his stall. Like,
Oh, it looks
pretty
like
cleanly.
Anthony was coming down. Cookie went up. Multiple cars spinning there. And then they just
By the
kept
way,
wrecking, as we saw. So, yeah,
go green
I'm
this
watching
time.
us going green here pretty soon. We're going to get back to the action on the live broadcast here. As looks like our pole sitter cut has just gotten back in time for the lap 26 restart.
5th caution. And I forget how many times some of these guys have pit, but having another caution, you're halfway through your sets.
Yeah, they're going to have to go back to some scuffs after this, as it's a popular back row. Bubble and Kimmy up front. It's going to be Nico and DJ as green flag is out, and it is a great restart of the back for Fard and Bubble. They're going to the outside. Oscar's going to the outside. It's going to be another big pack as we head down into turn 1.
Great restart for the bottom. Cookie pushing Turdy, pushing Nico. He's got a nice little gap here coming out of 2.
Cookie had to back out of it. He's just lost momentum all the way down the back straightaway. We're about to go 4 wide once again. Anthony on the very bottom trying to make a hero move into turn 3. There's more pushing. DJ comes down the track. They're all bouncing off of each other, and Anthony's actually going to make it work.
Oh,
DJ
Ryder
got put
just
in the wall.
corrected DJ.
Oh, and
Yeah.
Kimmy spinning. Kimmy and Bubble and DJ
Watch it.
are all spinning out.
They saved it, but DJ didn't. And he's in
Oh,
the wall.
rear
Yeah,
end damage. Caution is out. Race control luckily was right behind it, so they knew exactly when to call the caution. We had a good view of that
It would
one.
have been so unfortunate. I mean, obviously you don't want to have to use a reset, but it would have been so unfortunate for DJ to have Kimmy and Bubble save it and him spin out by himself and keep going green.
Yep. Well, that's going to be the reset for DJ. He's on his last car. He joins Discharge as one of 2 drivers who have had to use their 1 reset of the night. And this race has very quickly come to a halt in terms of stop, start, caution, and race control taking action on that. We're going to go green this time.
Wow, so pits don't even open. So you don't have to worry about someone losing a set of tires here because they're just, they're over it. They're just going to go right back to green.
And race control has decided they're not going to let them be that stupid.
Goated race control, I guess.
All right, as once again, it'll be Nico on the inside leading the field to the green. Ryder on the outside of that 19. Oh, and he did not go very well. He's going to lose spots immediately after getting hit behind by Axe because he did not press the go pedal. And now he's going to run into the corner panel.
Axe out of nowhere is back in the front of the field.
Here comes a big push. Big push here to Anthony. Anthony with huge momentum. Looking to the inside. He's going to get there to the inside of Nico.
Oh,
and Ryder's up.
wide.
Yep.
Yeah, he kind of got turned into the wall, really
and
into the wall.
Discharge made sure they hit the wall.
Oh, Fart's got a great run underneath.
It's about to be calamity back there. 4 wide for a moment through the tri-oval, but they sorted out. So that put Turdy all the way back to the back of the pack. Cookie getting pushed up the track a little bit. Axe bounces off the wall. Anthony goes to the outside. That's a pass for second place.
Yeah, he's just going to get trained on the top here. Dude, Ford did something crazy going into 1 and 2. I mean, he had to run underneath whoever was in the wall coming out of 4, and then just arced the corner, sent it right into the entry, and just sealed off the bottom from anyone sitting anything underneath him, and was able to clear the 4 wide.
Oh, what happened to Discharge? He's going slowly on the apron right there in turn 1. I was watching Bubble. I didn't see what happened. He's going to lose a ton of spots as Bubble makes a move on Fard. I wanted to ride on board with Bubble here and see if he can get that momentum off the top going. He's going to run the top. Let's see it.
Oh, the axe got put into the apron by Nico. He was trying to make a move for the lead. He's still there, though. Oh, he hit him up. He's going to lose. Oh, he's got to save it. So there's a little bit of a bump on the apron as you go across the line. It almost sent him around.
Yeah, Bubble's rolling crazy momentum on the top. Still on board with the 48 car. He is going to make up so fast to this pack. He is flying.
Just stay on the top. Just stay on the top. There he goes. There he goes. Yeah, just stay up there. He's going to go right around him, dude. That's crazy. He's going to get Anthony, I think, on the exit. If he gets space, yep, he's got the space. Nico's probably going to push Anthony a little bit. Nah, they don't have a chance. Bubble's so fast, man.
Oh, but Axe is taking that line away. Bubble's going to have to find a way around the 9 car, and that way is into the wall. But he pushes him back ahead again.
I don't know how he rolled so much more speed in the corner than Axe. I guess maybe he just set up a better entry.
He's looking at the bottom here now. Looking for a better exit, straighter exit, trying to get there to his quarter panel. Not quite there. Axe holds the lead. I like what Axe has done there. He's taken away that top line that Bubble has come to love. As Anthony ripping the top is finding some pace up there. He's closed in on the top too.
Yeah, that's the risk you take if you try to run the bottom and get a pass done on someone who's ripping the top, because then it just puts you in the jaws from the guy behind you who's got the clean air on the top as well. But he's managed to hold him off, though, so we should see another battle for the lead in just a second.
He's
still going to try to go down to the bottom. No, I don't yet.
It's
kind of in the middle of the track.
Offsetting a little bit. Axe is much higher than he has been a couple laps ago. Bubble with a pretty good run there on the bottom. He's going to get side by side with him. Anthony's going to be looking to capitalize as Bubble drops back behind.
I feel like Anthony's going to have a good... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, none of them are really right back on the top again. I really like being right on the top, but it is risky. If you get in the wall, you lose a ton of momentum.
Yeah, I think Axe nailed the top there, so let's see if... Yeah, it's just the exit speed is so good for the guy on the top. It's difficult to make a pass below him, whether you're on the bottom or in the middle of the track. And the minimum speed you roll through the corner is so great that I don't think you could really do a slide.
Bubble is so close to the wall. It's ridiculous, but he's staying off of it. Look at the momentum for the 48 car.
Yeah, that was great. If he gets to the outside, he might have the pass done.
Man, was he just saving that one? That was insane through 3 and 4. Now he's pinching him on the inside.
Oh, Axe is... Wow, he's just kind of parked it on the apex a little bit. But Bubble's trying to go for the crossover, but Axe has got enough speed on the exit to take it back.
They've got to be going so slow. How soon can Anthony get here?
Dude, the fight back from Axe is crazy. I thought he made a mistake by not blocking the outside when Bubble had the run, but then he just sent it right back into 1. Maybe it's the tires where the top isn't as good. I'm not sure though, because every single time we see Bubble actually nail it, the run is crazy.
Yeah, but it could just be a risk thing. It's so risky. If you get in the wall and get caught on the wall, you know, that's a couple seconds you're probably losing right there.
And they've completely left the rest of the field. The top three have.
Yeah, it is.
Here he goes.
Here we go. Yep. He's so close to the wall. It's ridiculous in the center of the corner, but he
Look at
does
the
not
run.
touch it.
The run he gets though is just insane. If you can nail it, wow, he's gonna push him. He doesn't even want to go to the inside.
Maybe he got
Man, if he
bored in that first stint and wanted to have someone to fight with. Although Axe is up the track, they're both in the wall. They're both so slow. Where is Anthony,
Anthony.
at? Here he comes. Looking for it to the bottom.
I can't believe he's gonna clear before the corner. That's crazy. Wow, dude. Anthony's so resourceful sometimes. He's just kind of sitting back there running his laps, and as soon as they get together, he takes the lead. But Bubble's gonna come right back at him.
Oh, and he kind of runs into the quarter panel of him. We're going to go side by side into turn 3. Anthony on that preferred high line. Can Bubble make something work on the bottom? Oh, he's
That's
pitting.
great. Oh, he's pitting. Wow. So we get to see a green flag stop for the first time. I wonder. Oh, Fard's going to come in behind him as well. I wonder how much they're actually going to lose here. Do they lose a lap?
I'm going to try to get an angle here of both the pit stop and the battle on track. As you see Fard in the pits, Bubble going all the way to the end of the pit road. Bubble's going to stop in that first stall as we are flying the drone cam up above the track, watching the battle for the lead. At the same time, we see pit stops. So it's Anthony ahead of Axe. They are still running around. Bubble out of the pits now. He will lose a lap. He's coming straight up onto the track. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, dude. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Why would he be doing that?
I thought the rule is if it was clear track, you could go straight up, but that was not clear track. That was the leaders coming with a full head of steam.
I wonder if Bubble could have actually come out in front of them and kept his lap, because he was wiggling back and forth in the pit lane. I don't know how much speed he lost doing that, but it was like genuinely really close coming into the pits. So, but we know now you lose just about a lap on the rest of the field whenever you come for green flag stops.
Yeah, now we get an idea of the pace advantage of fresh tires. Bubble is pit earlier than these other two. And he should be fighting to get his lap back here very soon, as there's also DJ who just pit ahead of the two leaders in 3 right now. Oh, he's back in the pits.
It's going to be difficult to understand all the strategy going on right now. I mean, we know Anthony and X have yet to pit. They're on the lead lap. They're leaders, 1 and 2. Bubble's probably going to get his lap back very soon. Do you recall who pit with Bubble? I think maybe it was Ford as well.
Yeah,
and
Far to pit in the 24 car. He's a ways back as Axe made a mistake there. Bubble goes by him. So Bubble is now only a lap down to Anthony. And Bubble up into the wall. And these top two are extending the stint pretty far. Honestly, with that mistake from Bubble, Anthony could probably pit right about now, come out with Bubble, and have a few laps fresher tires. But he is just kind of playing his own strategy right now.
So it looks like Discharge has yet to pit as well.
Looks like Oscar exiting the pits here. He's dropping behind Kimmy.
They're still staying out. Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, they're going to have a great offset.
They really are, and because Bubble made that big mistake, you know, haven't really lost that much.
And just to explain to anyone who's watching, the kind of offset that we're talking about is the longer that you stay out here, obviously you lose time to the guys who have pit earlier than you because they're setting faster lap times and you stay out on the old tires. But then you have the fresher tires at the end of the race, and it becomes a game of how long do you want to stay out for the fresher tires? You know, how much time are you willing to lose earlier in the race to gain it back at the end?
Yeah, still staying out. For a second there, Axe was Anthony's best friend. You know, kind of being second in line, holding back Bubble, but now Bubble's cleared him. He's only got Anthony ahead of him. We're still holding on to this drone cam hovering up here above the front straightaway. We can see any kind of potential pit stops. As we watch the gap close from Bubble to Anthony on that exit, we're going to jump back in here. Bubble closing in on the 09 machine. He lifts a second on the end of the straightaway. And he's all over Anthony, trying to get the lap back. Go to the outside in the middle of the corner. That's a risky spot. But he's going to get it done. So Bubble back onto the lead lap.
And that's huge. You see how much time you start to gain when you have the fresh tires. But this is going to be a crazy offset. I mean, I don't know how many laps they've stayed out compared to Bubble. But him, Axe, Nico, and looks like Discharge are really playing the long game.
Yeah, everybody else has made pit stops. DJ, I think, might have sped. I think I saw him go to the pits a couple of times, so I think DJ did get a speeding penalty. Everybody else looks like they had fairly clean pit stops. And so the order behind them will end up being Bubble, I believe Turdy, Fard, Kimmy, Ryder, Oscar, Cookie. But we're still waiting on our top four to come into the pits. They're still extending as we get closer to the 1/3 mark of this race.
Now, if there's a caution, will these guys get their laps back, or are you looking at the top four just keeping a lap on the rest of the field?
These guys should get their laps back. But then obviously the top four will have that tire advantage. Did Bubble make a mistake and hit the wall? I think Anthony just caught up a ton. Now DJ's in the wall. I mean, like Bubble's undercut is going to be completely negated by the mistakes.
Yep. Wow, they are really extending, man. Maybe they have to. Maybe they have to with the number of sets they have. But I didn't think anyone was that close.
I don't think they were, and I'm wondering if it's just a different number of stops. Could they save a pit stop going this much further? I mean, I don't remember when the exact last time they pit was. Maybe around lap 15 or so. They've gone.
Yeah. And this is a battle for the lead, by the way.
Yeah.
Axe going right underneath Anthony. So let's see what kind of pace Bubble has. I mean, he's gapped him now. He's the only other driver on the lead lap who has actually pit. So he's sitting in a pretty good spot. His undercut is all but complete. You think he'll inherit the lead once these guys do decide to come in.
This
but
car
yeah, they're
stops on the
extending
apron.
so
That's Turdy in the 49 in turn 1. Sorry to interrupt you, but this car just sitting there.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Yeah, he's just. Is he going now again, or?
He is. It looks like he's moving. There shouldn't be a caution. We should be going. He's keeping it green here in the middle of this pit stop battle.
Looks like he was AFK for a second. He put it in the chat. He just was away for a second. But anyhow, I think you're right about actually just trying to save a full stop because they're extending well beyond any kind of advantage you would get from an offset.
Yeah, I would have think the first time Bubble hit the wall, I would have been in the pits, keep the track position, and have the tire advantage. But at this point, I think you're just looking at a different strategy completely. And or they're still battling amongst themselves in this strategy. So it's right now looking like Bubble versus Axe versus Anthony. 2 separate strategies, 3 different cars. That's going to be your battle. Is that Axe coming in? Yes, it is. This is an important stop for the 9 crew.
Another thing is, if you know the kinds of strategy that you're doing, that's completely different. Maybe minus 1 stop compared to everyone else. You got to stop battling. Like if you're Axe and Anthony, don't go side by side. If you're in a completely different strategy, then gap Bubble. But the more you lose time battling, the better his strategy looks.
Yeah, probably so. Here comes Bubble. He's going to be way, way out ahead. Axe still going down the pit lane.
And that's how big the undercut is.
Yeah, it's huge. You can see the gap from Anthony to Bubble. It's already a whole straightaway. This is important for Axe. Is he going to be out? He's going to be out just behind Anthony. So yeah, just what we've seen before. It's just over a lap lost, right about a lap in the pits.
Another thing is, forget his name, Discharge. Discharge is still on the strategy with Anthony. They've stayed out the longest.
They've made it, what, 40 laps now?
He's coming in, Anthony is.
Looking back for the 17 car entering turn 3. Will he come into the pits as well? This should give Discharge the lead for the time being. Yes, Discharge stays out, bounces off the wall right there.
Discharge is completely out of this strategy. As far as being competitive, I mean, being on the same strategy as Anthony, unless there's a caution, he's so far back.
I think that was a bad entry for Anthony. It's going to cost us some time. Here comes Bubble already. Blows by around on the track at race speed. This Bubble is ahead of Anthony. The next car behind Bubble was Axe, of course, as we're going to get the battle here. The battle here for the alternate strategy. Anthony coming up off the pits. Axe at speed. I thought it was a bad entry for Anthony. Here comes the 9 machine around the outside up to speed. It's a tight battle, but Axe has it.
So we'll have to pay attention to the gaps here. We know Discharge has got a pit. You know, Bubble will take over the lead. See how quickly Axe and Anthony actually catch up to Bubble, because they will have crazy tire advantage.
And I think Nico, who is closer to the strategy of Bubble, is not that far behind Anthony. Yeah, Nico currently in 5th, net 4th once Discharge pits. Nico's not that far behind. If he keeps laying down a good pace back there, he could catch up to Axe and Anthony, but he's got a long ways to go before he can even think about Bubble.
So Bubbles 9.5 seconds from Discharge. Obviously, he's yet to pit. Bubbles is basically your net leader. But let's see the gap to Axe, though. So is that 22 seconds off of Bubble ahead of him?
That's off of the lead, so it's going to be, you know, right around 13 seconds, the gap between the two. As caution is out, who is it for? Somebody must have damage. Looking for who it might be. Oh, and it's Ryder with rear end damage on the front straightaway. Not sure what happened there, but caution is going to be out, and Discharge might be golden now.
Yeah, I was about to say, what does that mean for Discharge? Because he never pit. He's going to take over the lead under caution and have a stop with fresh tires. I mean, obviously he's going to file to the back here, but the tire advantage is going to be ridiculous, I think.
I think so as well. Oh, did Ryder says he's on 0% tires. Did he blow a tire?
Wow.
Well, we're hearing from one of the spectators here, and the person getting clips, that's Ollie, that there was a wall pop. We don't have a replay of it, but word from people around the track is that he popped off the wall, got rear end damage. And I think the spin from that has caused him to drop down to 0% tires. Hopefully he doesn't blow one going around.
Yeah, I was going to ask, you know, what the tire life looks like if we actually had a failure. But if he's actually had an incident that's brought it down, that we don't have a great benchmarker of what the real life lifetime is for it.
Well, I mean, what lap are we on here on this right now?
I think it was just coming to around 60.
I mean, that's like 45 laps, I think, from Discharge, I think. I can't remember who pit after that when we had that split strategy. But I feel like we're getting, it's kind of close to like right at about 40 laps. what you can run.
See who all comes in here. If your bubble, maybe you even come in. Because now the guys that you had such a big gap on with the offset are right behind you.
Yeah, right behind you with much better tires. It's a pretty good spot for Anthony right now. He'll have the best track position, well, a decent track position with the best tires from people who have stayed out. We'll see if anyone comes into the pits. You expect Discharge to pit. Maybe someone else, as you mentioned, perhaps Bubble. Pits are open. It is lap 60. So, yeah, right on it.
And if everyone pits here, that'd be just absolutely magical for Discharge. And looks like Axe and Anthony, the late pitters, are staying out. Gimmy's staying out. Oscar, as well as Cookie and Turdy. Everyone else in.
Clean entry here for Bubble. The 48 machine goes to work on that car. Clean entry for Fard. Watching everyone's entries. Ryder, who is the cause of the caution, he is pitting as well. He was on 0% tires. DJ is in clean. That's your Season 3 champion in the 20 car. Nico with a clean entry and watching Discharge in the 17.
That's a little bit slow
clean.
to get stopped.
Yeah, we'll see, because sometimes the script can activate before the car comes to a complete stop, in which case rolling a little bit could be advantageous. Bubble is at the back again. Bubble's having some interesting pit stops as he's sliding in the grass in the pits. Maybe he fell asleep going down at pit speed. Bubble's going to be last.
I don't know if you recall in the Pro Formula race, ordering Zaxby's under caution. I wonder if he's sitting in a DoorDash Zaxby's order while he's spinning under caution.
Could be trying to get one in here pretty quick. I think they close in a couple hours. He needs to be getting that order queued up.
Oh, man.
And we can just only pray that he's not changing the weather from there at the back of the pack.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. We need to upload a clip of that because that was very funny. So I obviously wish we had the data on who has however many new sets of tires left, but in the very least, we know that Discharge is the first car running with fresh tires. Everybody else has stayed out. It's dirty.
Yep. And even then, presumably fresh tires. Someone could have gone to a set of scuffs already if they felt like it for some reason. We're getting packed up. It's going to be Axe and Anthony on your front row. Green flag flies. Anthony with the best reaction time I've ever seen in my life. He's going to go to the outside with a great run, but Kimmy gives Axe a good push. They're going to stay side by side into turn one.
Turdy with a great start, by the way, and he's at the top, so he may have a good run here.
I think he will. If he can stay there on the outside of Oscar, which he can, Axe clears for the lead.
But the fresh tires are so good.
Really are. Looking back, who out of the fresh tires is going to be the first to break through and really catch up? DJ's ripping the top up there right against the wall. He gets into the wall. That's going to slow down Bubble. Axe hit the wall from second place. Here comes Turdy cutting across the apron. He takes away second.
Oh, Oscar was just a little bit loose. I'm telling you, there's a couple bumps in the front stretch when you go to the apron, so you risk it trying to make a move down there.
Oh, as Kimmy gets put up, though, track by Fard. He's going to stay out of the wall because he lifted, but that's going to kill his momentum down the back straightaway. Here comes Bubble with a big head of steam. Oh, I thought he was about to go for a gap that was not there. And now Kimmy's in the wall, too. He's going 2 miles an hour. He is not in it right now. Bubble pushing it 4 wide as Oscar spins off of turn 4. In the grass.
Caution. He's just doing stuff. Oh, yeah. That's so killer for Oscar, man. He's well out of it now because there's no caution. Anthony's got a great lead.
Bubble's in the wall big time. He's going to lose all of the spots he just got. Ryder bounces off the wall.
That's the ebb and flow of ripping the top. He made such an incredible move to go 4 wide as they came across the front stretch and then lost everything in the next corner. Anthony's loving the battle, and he's got a good pace. He's very consistent.
He's liking it. I'm looking at the 49 machine of Turdy ripping the top up here. Little contact with Fard, but still good momentum for him. Looking for third place right now. And he's going to get it. And those next 2 cars up ahead of him.
Oh, someone's
Oh,
around.
caution.
DJ's around. He's got front end damage. That's it for him.
Yep, he's out.
That's it.
Season 3 champion DJ. Not a championship drive tonight from the driver of the Tony car. He is going to be out and done. And our first DNF credited with a 12th place finish.
Man, oh man. Maybe someone has a clip of that. I wonder if he tried to clear himself. I didn't catch all of it, just kind of spectating Discharge here, but it happened right behind Discharge, who I was looking at.
We'll see if we can get a clip here. Big shout out to Ollie, who's been giving us some clips for the races, getting us some replays.
And they're going to go green very quickly here.
Yeah, if we get this soon, we'll get a replay in. If not, we'll have to look at it another time.
He was being turned by someone. I turned around when I heard the tires squealing. I just don't know if it was off of the left front corner panel of someone. Maybe he was trying to clear himself, or maybe someone trying to make a move beneath him. I think he was spinning towards the left, so it must have been someone on his left rear. And that would explain it was rear end damage, wasn't it?
I already forgot.
Yeah, maybe
I think by the end he had slammed the wall enough times to have both, so I wasn't really looking at it. We're going to go double file. Again, Anthony and Axe, this time different positions. Going green here. Watch the 48 machine of Bubble. He's always looking to move forward on the restarts. As green flag flies, he gets a great restart. I wonder how he does it every single time.
I think they have to stay in line, or can they not go to the apron if they have a run before the line? I don't know.
I think it's just the apron. I think if you're on the top, you're allowed to move up, but no apron. I think that's what it is.
Gotcha. I was going to say, because it seemed like Discharge had a great run, but he couldn't take it because he's just stuck on the bottom. But now he's going to be trying to go for second anyway.
So just out of nowhere, Anthony had a wonderful restart, and he's pulled way ahead of the pack.
Fresh tires really showing out now for Discharge.
There he comes.
He's completely left the battle.
Look at Bubble going to the outside there. Good momentum for him. Along the top, still finding pace up there. See if he can do it again right here behind the 24 of Fard. Oh, that's Turdy in the wall. Oh, and Bubble with a switchback on Fard. What a move. The outside of 2 other cars, the inside of Fard. He's up in a third with momentum.
We know if he has clean air, it's all but over. So you got to be careful about that. If Bubble can get around the top 2 leaders here.
Discharge, the drive in the middle of the corner with fresh tires.
He's going to get crossed over. Bubble's going to push him, actually.
Now he goes to the outside.
Yeah, I think he didn't want to go to the inside. He didn't want to take the crossover. He just wants to get back to his line, which is understandable.
Anthony's not going to let him get the top. As Bubble, he's going to drive underneath him. The better tires. He doesn't need the top.
Wow. Anthony trying to side draft, forcing him narrow.
He's racing Bubble like Bubble races.
I was going to say, there's not much you can do with the tires, though.
Bubble kind of parked it right there. That was good from Bubble. Anthony staying close, though.
Yeah, that was great effort out of Anthony. He's still there. You know, it's not over for him, but, you know, with the tire advantage that Bubble has right now, there's not much he could do.
Yeah, that could come back around, though. But, you know, Anthony saved a set. He's going to go up. Bubble just gets scared into the wall. They're never going to touch. Anthony's sliding. He's going to save it. He's spinning.
No, don't get damaged.
He hits Bubble. He hits Axe. Discharge is going to go through to the lead. No caution yet. He's coming back up the track. Forward into the wall. Anthony gets hit by Kimmy. Caution finally comes out after we've wrecked for the entire lap here at Las Vegas. And Discharge is in the lead.
I was going to say, that what a trip for Anthony. And Fard was about to take it over. Dude, when you start spinning, you're spinning for half a lap. It never ends.
I think Bubble might have said something over the radio. See if we can pull that up. Not sure exactly what was said there.
I think he said he lagged.
We're going to get pits open this time. Getting close to the halfway point in this race.
Oh, man. 71 out of 150. We don't really know what the full tire life is. And we don't really know who's got the freshest tires either. There's not a whole lot we know.
Pits are open this time. Anthony is giving it everything to get back to the back. He should get there in
Got
time.
it. Spent a long time spinning around.
And
But
he
no
did. Here
damage,
comes-
right? I mean,
Yeah, he's
it
good.
was-
We got split strategies here. There's no way Anthony's staying out.
wow.
Maybe we saw him go into the pits. I thought he was going to drive through. Because I thought if he did
So-
pit, it was going to be a closed pit lane.
So Anthony and Axe, it was something we do know. They stayed out. Last time there was a split between people pitting and staying out under caution. So Bubble and Discharge at the front, you know, they worked their way through the field with the fresh tires. And now they've got clean air. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we see them just start to gap everyone.
We may have a driver's view here as we missed the pit stops there, but we may have a driver's view of DJ's DNF. This could be good to watch. Let's take a look at this. As we see DJ side by side with Ryder, Nico trying to squeeze to the outside, and then that wasn't really a gap there. It was closing quickly, and that put DJ into the wall and out of the race.
So I should get your view here in just a second because I've got the stream pulled up. But my original thought was maybe someone tried to make a move and then, well, you know what? I originally said that DJ would have cleared himself and it was on his right rear, but there really was no clearing himself there. It was, like you said, going for a gap that didn't exist. That's unfortunate for DJ. He wasn't having the worst runs of the night, even after his early spin.
Well, it'll be Discharge leading on the same tires as Bubble. See if he can find some more pace to hold off the charging 48 machine. As somehow
Max
Bubble
got a
doesn't get
crazy-
an incredible restart after calling the green himself.
Mike's got a crazy good jump on that and pushed Discharge away from everyone.
It's really what you want as the leader. Car behind you can get a good restart. The push is so big. As I think I see Ryder just do a quadruple switchback on the exit of turn 2 down the inside. That was a nice move from the 19 car. Looking ahead on board with Ryder. Bubble looking for a move on Axe. Axe has older tires. Ryder's into the wall. And we're about to get swarmed.
I can't remember who all did that last time through, but if you're Discharge, you're loving all of it.
Yeah, we
All
know
the
at the very
chaos between. Sorry, go ahead.
at the very least that Discharge and Bubble are on the same strategy. Axe is not.
Right.
He's on older tires and he's still fighting with Bubble. And I believe it was Fard and one other driver at the back that actually got fresh tires. I'm not super certain who it was. It might have been Turdy.
I
But
think you're
Fard
right.
is on fresher tires. He pit right there on that caution.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right that it was Turdy that pit, and maybe one other car. But as I was going to say, though, if you're Discharge, you're loving all the chaos going on behind because the guys who may have fresh tires are caught up in so much battling. There's not much else to compete with except Bubble, who was actually going to. Oh man, he was looking to send it down the middle. But yeah, Bubble and Discharge on the same tires. As long as they don't battle too hard, I expect them to start gapping everyone. Oh my gosh, that was so close. Bubble at the left rear discharge. Although I don't think he would actually spin him out if he made contact there. Now you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, you know, at worst you just push him up into the wall.
I think so. I'm not super sure, but I mean, honestly, it's been pretty clean from Bubble tonight so far. He's raced everyone pretty respectfully, I think.
I don't think he wants to go down the inside. I mean, he's going down in the middle. Oh, it doesn't matter because discharge in the wall.
Looks like he got upset after hitting the wall and decided to hit the wall again. Is that going to cost Axe as they're all sliding,
Axe.
spinning around? If discharge gets damaged, he's out. Sliding towards the other side wall. He's going to stay out of it.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to keep it
Well, you
green.
gotta-
2 cars spinning, but they no damage. Because I think that's Ryder up the track and turn 4. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta just hope for a caution if you're discharged. Obviously, you don't want to hit the wall because you're done. But if there is a caution, he's competitive. He'll be back in it. If you're Bubble though, the world is your oyster now because you know you're quickest. You've got clean air. You have the freshest tires. If this thing went green all the way, you know Bubble would be the obvious pick. And there's caution.
Caution is out. Oh, and it looks like Axe got front end damage. How did that happen? He's in the pits. Discharge is also in the pits. Was Discharge in the pits when the caution came out? Is this ultimate masterclass by Discharge?
And presumably they get to have their lap. Yeah, he's gonna go around the field here.
He'll go around. Yeah.
So if everyone else pits, then Discharge is right back into the lead.
Right.
Wow, just how quickly your race turns from almost rear ending into the wall, to probably inheriting the lead here.
I mean, it makes sense. You know, he spun out. His tires were cooked. He goes into the pits. Axe somehow wrecks and is on his last car, and a caution comes out, and now Discharge is in a great position.
I feel like you got to start thinking about the sets again at this point. Like I said it earlier, like way earlier, it didn't seem like it was going to be a problem. You know, you were saying pretty comfortably it didn't seem like it was going to be a problem. I was kind of agreeing with you, but now we've got 12 cautions here, and I don't know how many times everyone's pit.
Yeah, I mean, if you cut it in half, like we just passed halfway in this race. They're given 6 sets. You would have used 3 by now. I think everyone's used 3, maybe more. Some have used 4 probably. So it's looking tight on the tire situation as we got 4 pitters: Bubble, Fard, Ryder, and Kimmy.
I think Bubble may be going to his 5th new set here.
He's gonna have to stretch these stints or go to scuffs later. Really interested to know how his tire sets look right now. Would love to see that.
Yeah, I really wish we had that information because that would make
Yep. Just
things
pitted for his 2nd to last set, says Bubble. That was his 5th set.
Right. All right. Oh wow. Well, if it were to go green, you know, the rest of the way, which it probably won't, but if it were to go green the rest of the way, I think Bubble can make 2 stints pretty confidently, pretty comfortably. But it's probably not going to go green the rest of the way. And anybody that's been gambling and staying out and having, you know, pretty worn tires on restarts, they may be sitting really pretty here when you get to the end.
And I'm thinking about Discharge, Axe, and Anthony. Well, Discharge did just have to take an extra set, and Axe just went to the back for some reason, so I'm never going to talk ever again. But those 3 extended that first stint, and then the caution came out. They actually saved like an entire set by doing that earlier in that longer green flag run. They're going to be looking pretty good if there's a later restart. Everybody else has to go to scuffs, and they're on fresh tires. Then it'll just be about not being the carnage.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught this. Fard did say that he's on his last set. Ryder's on his 5th set. So Fard is absolutely cooked, it would seem, right? I mean, even this thing goes green to the end.
Yeah, but he should have scuffs he can go to. Like, if you're on your 6th set, you've probably got not too bad scuffs at this point.
That's true. I forget that if they have, you know, exhausted all their new sets, they haven't worn those scuffs as much as someone else.
Huge train on the outside here as we got the restart going. Turdy and Nico to the inside. Anthony leading the charge on the outside as Cookie's in the wall behind. Bubbles got good momentum. He's going to push the 09 machine off of turn 4. He tried to make a move. He hit Anthony into the grass. Anthony cuts across, leads the lap, keeps the lead for Anthony. That was incredible.
Wow, what good control. Because I see people almost lose it when they hit the bump on the apron. He's gone straight through the infield and still managed to keep the lead.
Oh, and there's contact behind Turdy. Almost lost it, and he saved it somehow.
Wow. Wow, I said he was around, but he's good. Bubble to the inside.
Anthony with momentum on top. Where does Fard go? He's gonna give Bubba a little nudge right there. Lifts out of it. Here comes Ryder with momentum.
So we know Ryder and Bubble are on their 5th set here. Don't know where Anthony sits. Feel like maybe he's got one more set than them.
Anthony's holding tough on that outside lane. There's a good push there from the 19 machine. Bubble's gonna drop all the way back to 3rd. I'd say kind of for the first time in this in a straight up fight, Bubble has looked human.
Oh my goodness, Ryder is completely stopped the momentum of Fard and Axe behind him. I was gonna say I haven't really seen him up in the front. And he was battling good, and then he rode the wall.
And he just put Discharge into the outside wall on the edge of the tri-oval. And now Axe is in the outside wall. They're gonna make contacts. No, they're not. They actually know how to do it.
Anthony didn't have a great exit. Bubble's just taking the lead.
Now Anthony running higher than Bubble, trying to get some momentum. And I mean, Bubble's running lower. If Anthony can roll the top, I think Anthony's got pretty solid pace. Good momentum for the 09 machine. He could claw this back.
I think that you're right about the risk thing, because I see Bubble get to the lead and he goes down to the middle of the track, and it's just not faster. I think he's content with just kind of running a little bit slower and getting in the middle of the track and not hitting the wall. Because if you do hit the wall, you're losing it at least a couple positions, probably more than that, depending on what the gaps are. But he's always going to be forcing the guy behind him to take the riskier line to pass him, which you got to respect the strategy. It's not as fast, but you are taking the path of
Oh, yeah! All right. Here comes Anthony and Fard catching up.
Oh, my gosh. That was amazing.
Oh, and Bubble's going... Why is Bubble exiting on the bottom of the track?
Yeah,
I know you were trying to talk about the path of least resistance, but that was ridiculous. On the exit, Bubble just wrapped the bottom like it was an Indy car.
Yeah, he's just giving them all the gap back.
Bubble trying to keep it exhilarating up at the front as Anthony with momentum. He'll be to the back of the 48 machine here pretty soon, probably by the time we get to turn 1.
Oh, boy. Honestly, just rip the top and get in a rhythm.
Yeah, like you can run up there. You can do it consistently. It just takes a lot of practice. I just watched Axe sail it around the top of turn 1 and 2. And he kind of played it conservatively. He was a little too deep. He backed up a little bit. Didn't lose any time at all. You know, you don't have to be full beans on the top to still run the top and be quick.
He's exiting in the middle of the track, Bubble is.
I think he's probably looking behind him while he's racing. Now we're side by side.
Yeah, he's probably spectating the race.
He's probably racing through the stream with a delay right now. As he comes up the track in front of Anthony, but he's there.
Oh.
09 machine with momentum round the top side. Bubble with a side draft.
How much is the side draft here? I mean, is it?
It's a pretty good bit. It's a good amount. They both are exiting pretty low for some reason. Here comes Fard, and also the rest of the pack actually it's racing speed. Discharge is back up here. Axe has been brought back up here.
Having fun. Bubble's just a meme, honestly. I think he could have left the entire
He
field.
absolutely could have, bro. He could have been ripping the
Literally.
top every single corner 20 seconds down the road.
But he's put them all under a blanket. He's put the top 5 under a blanket now, I think, just to make this
And there's some
interesting.
good reason.
Oh,
Here comes
man.
Fard around the outside. Bubble's going to exit directly on the bottom of the track, holding it to the line. As here comes a huge run from every car behind him. Fard goes around the outside. Anthony looking to the inside. Axe looking to
This
the
is
outside.
ridiculous.
As Fard takes the
This is-
lead, Anthony is stuck on the inside.
Discharged into the middle. Oh my gosh, there's gonna be 4 wide for the lead.
No matter what, Bubble will not leave the bottom.
He's breaking into the entry here.
Now Axe actually running the top in the lead. First time we've seen that in a while. Maybe he'll pull away.
Oh, do you think it's you know, we're kind of making jokes here. Do you think that he's trying to save tires, Bubble?
I wonder. That is an idea. We kind of threw that off to the side because I'm pretty sure it's not scripted to really be able to.
Yeah.
But maybe
remember, we were
there is something there.
Yeah, we were just talking about, you know, a while back. If you were to save it, it's down to just the amount of speed that you carry in the corner. If you just hold the bottom, by necessity, you have to take a lower minimum speed throughout the corner because you've decreased the radius of the corner. So if you just take a different line and force yourself to go slower into the entry and just hold the bottom, you do force yourself to save tires, I would think.
He's still doing it. So there is a chance. Axe is looking like Bubble out in front in the 9 machine, ripping the top, staying clean, pulling away.
If that's the case, you know, that's almost, it is genius, honestly, if it is the case, because if you do have a caution and you go to your last set, then you will have, you know, you really would be thanking yourself for doing this now.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Axe is
Got it.
flying out front.
This has to be what he's doing, you know, because it was interesting for a second, maybe just for entertainment value, but now he's far off the lead, and he's still doing this.
Also, I don't know if race control is just asleep or if something weird has happened with the strategy I haven't caught, but Axe is not being shown on the lead lap. Right now it's counting Fard as the leader. Multiple cars are being shown a lap down. Not sure if that's just a timing and scoring error or if the Fard is actually the leader. We're going to keep an eye on that for you. But yeah, I mean, Bubble's still doing it just back there. If he was just doing this for entertainment, he probably would have started racing for real to actually race with people. But he's still going very slowly around the bottom back there.
And honestly, he doesn't lose too much time. I mean, he's losing time to Axe, but, you know, the blanket of 3 cars for second place between Anthony, Fard, and Discharge, you're not going to lose much time to them.
And you're not going to risk hitting the wall like Axe just did and throwing it all away. So, I mean,
That's
not
true.
doing too
So
bad.
there
Here
is
comes
no
Fard.
gap. There is no gap to the lead anymore. I mean, it is what it is. It's 4 cars now battling for the lead. And Fard is going to send it.
And it's so interesting because Bubble's doing that. Fard is full send, driving like sauce. And he has less
Kimmy's in the
sets of
pits, by
tires
the way.
than Bubble does. Kimmy, as you mentioned in the pits, yeah.
Wow.
This is him
don't know
exiting
how
the
many-
pits here.
And I don't think we have any information on the amount of sets that Kimmy has, but
He's going to have to stop again.
so Bubble says that Axe is not in the lead.
Okay.
I don't know why
I don't know how I got confused there with Axe fighting. I thought everyone was on the lead lap. Apparently not. The lead is Fard, Anthony, and Discharge, and then a ways back to Bubble. So we've
Okay,
got
so
a
as
lapped
far as-
car just in the middle here.
Yeah, maybe he pit at some point and rejoined right there in the battle, and we didn't catch that. I'm not sure. I just don't recall him ever losing the lap.
I don't either. That's definitely a possibility. You know, we barely caught Kimi pitting, so it could have been a pit stop that we missed. We're
Someone in
getting
the
close
chat
to the.
said Axon never got his lap back.
I see.
So maybe somewhere in the filing lap cars around the pack during caution or something, Axon maybe just missed out on that somewhere.
That's interesting because yeah, we watched on the last caution. You know, Discharge Masterclass went back around to just drove around him for that lap back.
You know, that's interesting because I remember seeing Discharge do that and inheriting the lead off of that, that absolute blessing he got. But I don't remember X going around. So maybe he just forgot. I mean, that's quite a blunder if he just forgot. But in any case, he's not there. He's not there fighting for the lead. He is a lap car.
We're glad we got that clarification as we've got a battle for second right now. Discharge and Anthony, they've been going at it for a while. And the lapped car is slow ahead of them. They're going to have to split them. And the battle rages on into turn 3. Discharge is on the bottom here. Big send to the bottom of the track. He's going to come back up. He's clear if he can get there. And he can. What a corner for Discharge. That was gorgeous.
You know, at the beginning, before the race ever started, there was a chance that Kimi may be doing a masterclass strategy, and we did see him come down the pits completely by himself. I wonder what he's cooking up with that.
Could be. He's definitely got to make another stop. Bubbles made it, I want to say about 20 laps on those tires so far. He needs to make it he needs to make it another 15 if he wants to do it on one stop.
One thing I'd mention about Bubble and this saving right now, it's got to be saving, by the way. I know we didn't say anything conclusively, but he's got to be saving tires. Yeah. Even if he's on the same pit lap as the guys ahead of him, or whatever else, whatever happens, if he's not trying to eke out another stop or whatever it is, just the saving right now gives him such an advantage at the end because he's not being gapped. He's still right there.
Yeah. We've talked about Bubbles' tire position a lot. These other drivers really aren't in that much better of a position than Bubble. Like, everyone's going to have to be playing this game of tire sets and when are you doing this pit. Can you do it on one more stop from that last caution to the end, or are you going to have to do it 2? It looks like Kimi's going to have to do 2. These other drivers need to make it to about 115, lap 115 to make it on 1.
Would it be something, though, if Kimi didn't come back down?
That'd be an insane stint. I think that'd be 55 laps on a stint, but who knows? It might be possible.
Yeah, because we don't really know what an extension can look like. We saw a crazy extension from Anthony and Axe very early in the race, which was like 45 to 50 laps or something.
Well, I'm not super sure. I thought it was like 40. But yeah.
And they didn't look like they were saving. I mean, they were battling through a lot of that. So if Kimi does something at least similar to what Bubble's doing, maybe they have figured out that they can really just extend the life of their tires well beyond what we thought from the beginning.
Could be, as we are actually side by side for the lead right now. Discharge looking at the inside of Fard here on lap 104. And this is going to be important because this is kind of the primary strategy of the battle for the lead right now in my head. Bubble saving tires behind. A switch back there from Fard is going to give him the inside in that 24 machine. Fard is on his last set, so he's going to have to go to scuffs, I think, because we saw the green with 70 to go. I don't think he can make 70 laps on a stint, so he's going to have to take a set of scuffs.
And maybe they aren't so bad. Maybe he's got a scuff set that's very close to almost being completely fresh. I don't know. We can't keep tabs on every single. We don't have the info. Even if we could keep tabs on everybody. But maybe a scuff set isn't so bad for him. But it'll all unravel, though. All the mysteries will unravel, and we'll see what competitiveness Ford has when he does go to a scuff.
Now, let's see here as the laps tick, it gets closer and closer to being able to make it on the one stop, that magical one stop for Bubble especially.
Kimi is really catching up. Those fresh tires that he took however many laps ago has brought him right back to the back of Bubble here.
Yeah.
And though he is a lap down, we will see him possibly file out ahead of Bubble, right? Whenever Bubble comes down.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, when Bubble pits right now, Bubble is pitting right now. And, I mean, if that was as far as he could go, he's going to be a good bit short of the mark. He's going to be almost 20 laps short. He's going to have to do another pit stop. I just feel like they went so much further earlier in this race. Maybe I was wrong about that, but Bubble just went, 27 laps on those tires. Another 27 will get us to lap 134, and he'll have, 17 more laps to do.
So this will be interesting to see where he comes out relative to Kimi. Right there. He's so close. And Kimi is now, out of nowhere, getting close to the lead. So does this look like something where everyone takes another stop here, and then maybe you're chasing Kimi for the win at the end?
We might see some split strategies. I think if these other drivers can make it to 115, they'll do it on one stop. These other drivers, Nico, Kimi, Bubble. Also, we haven't really mentioned Nico much. Nico's on the same strategy as Kimi, and they're like side by side up here. Those three are going to be doing 2 stops in this last stint. The rest of the field doing 1. Fard pit. So he's for sure on scuffs, and he's going to have to go to another set of scuffs after this. As Bubble with a ton of pace now looking to the outside of Nico, and Nico just completely walls him.
This crazy battle for the lead right now. As we're talking about strategy, this is going insane.
Here goes Bubbles to the gap. He bounced off the wall, bounced off the 9 car, but he keeps the momentum.
Crazy tire advantage. He's going to pick off Kimi in just a second.
Now this is important because this is for position. Kimi with the undercut got up there, but Bubble with the tire offset. There's just no way to fight it if you're the 21 car. So much more grip for the 48. They're side by side down the back straightaway. He's going to lift and try to wall himself, but he can't quite bring himself to do it.
Oh my goodness, that was so close. Trying to get back to the top, and Nico flying through there.
So four out of the 6 cars right here are about to be on the same strategy. Add Discharge to that list. I don't think Discharge can make it. He needed to go 5 more laps. Oh, and Anthony is out as well. So honestly, I think everybody's got to pit one more time. I don't think anyone can make it to the end.
Wow. Anybody yet to pit? Is that what we're dealing with, or is everyone coming in?
I think with Discharge, everyone has pit. And now what we've got up front. Whoa.
Yeah, that was a close moment there between Nico and Bubble. But I was going to say, we know that Kimi has the worst tires, right, out of this area, or Nico maybe around the same as him.
Yeah.
Bubble's got fresher tires. And then you've got Discharge and Anthony fresher tires than that because they've just come down.
Right, and you thought Bubble was going to carve through him, but he's made a few mistakes here. Bounced off the wall. Fard is up to the back of him. Bubbles dropped back behind Kimi and Nico. And now we think everyone has to stop one more time. As they made it just, the furthest people made it 30 laps.
And assuming that's true, which, I mean, as far as we understand, that is completely true. We don't see any reason why it wouldn't be. But anyway, with that knowledge, Kimi presumably pits before anybody else because he was the first one to pit and pull off this crazy undercut. And maybe Nico with him. And then you've got a pack chasing them with fresher tires. That's probably the picture for the ending.
Probably so. Look at the momentum for Bubble there. He's going to push Kimi ahead of Nico. They went side by side, and Bubble had good momentum. So that's going to put Bubble up in a P2. Nico down to P3. As Bubble in the wall again. He just loses it all. This is
Boy, the
absolutely
undercut-
killing Bubble because this is the time he should have the advantage. As caution is out, is that Turdy
Dirty.
rear end damage.
Well, that's crazy. So, man, I really wish we could have seen that play out. But we'll have to see what happens now with the caution and the pack coming together again. Boy, I feel like we had it figured out.
I mean, it's what I think we were at lap 118 or so. It's like really close to pitting right here, making it to the end though.
Yeah, if you could pit now and extend, that'd be crazy. Everybody else on green flag pit stops is going to be chasing. So we got Bubble going down the apron. I wonder if he's trying to say something to someone.
He was telling us that Turdy was on his last car. That was race
Okay.
control driving the 48, giving us a message. This time Axe is reminded to go and get his lap back.
Nice. Nice. So we get everyone on the same lap here. That'll be nice.
Just a reminder, DJ is your only DNF. After a couple wrecks, we saw a replay of that earlier. He is credited with a 12th place finish. The rest of these drivers have pretty much all used all their tires. A couple of them may have saved a set, have one fresh set of tires to go to the end, but most of them are putting on scuffs and trying to make it last to the end. As we've probably got just over 30 laps to go, and about 30 laps is the maximum stint length. So we've got a really interesting decision for these drivers to make as we come up. So far, pits have not been called open. If they stay closed a couple more laps, this decision gets a lot easier.
And just a reminder on who may be on their last cars. If I recall, it's let's see, Discharge, Axe, and Turdy, right?
Yep, and Ryder. Put Ryder in there.
So are we just waiting to open up the pits here for them to get this last lap here?
Yeah, they've got to
30
come
and
back
X.
around, get their lap back, and once they come back around, that should be pits open. And with the one extra lap done under caution, personally, I would probably pit here and try to save it to the end.
I think it's possible.
I think we saw some drivers make it 31 laps. I think I'm not sure exactly what lap it is, but it should be pretty close to about that many laps to go. I would do
It
it.
doesn't seem. I think you got to. If it's there, I think you got to make that strategy call and try to extend, because it just doesn't feel like the offset after a couple laps is that great. So if someone, pulls into the pits, loses a little over a lap, and has fresh tires, and then is chasing you who doesn't stop, I think you have the advantage.
Yeah, and since we know we lose over a lap, like they've got to make up an entire lap on the stop. So we will see. Looks like we've got a screenshot here from Bubble. He's on 96% tires right now.
Wow. So how many laps did he go before the caution?
Not sure.
It just seems like that's not a lot of wear.
It doesn't. It surely doesn't. I was completely wrong on the lap count. There's 35 to go. So I don't know what we're looking at right here.
Well, I guess all the mysteries will come undone here because the pits are open.
Who is coming? Kimmy leads down Nico.
And that makes sense.
That does make sense for those two. Everyone else staying out until you get to Ryder, Cookie, and Oscar. Let's watch these pit stops. Really, the top two is going to be what we think it could be a big battle to the end. Kimmy is clean in his stall.
If all these folks, if all the drivers can go to the end from here, just given the wear that Bubble had and however many laps he's run before the caution came out, if everyone can go to the end, and these guys who are pitting now have maybe a slight advantage, but ultimately we don't know. We don't know if there's another stop for them or if everyone can go to the end here.
Yeah, I mean, 96% is like nothing. Like, we ran like 10 laps.
Okay. And then
Like, because
everyone's going to the end.
Bubble Pit, he made it to lap 107. So we ran, multiple laps. You should be able to easily make it.
It's sounding like a shootout to the end then. No green flag
That's
stops.
what I'm thinking. I think it might just be to the end. Maybe what we thought was having to pit twice was just an undercut from the entire field. The entire field just being forced to pit on the early side because they didn't want to be undercut.
Right. And if
'Cause they
so,
saw
that was a crazy call from Kimmy.
Yeah, huge call. And now he does have fresher
Nico
tires
as well.
to the end.
Yeah, we'll see how much of an advantage that is. So, what are you looking at? 5-6% advantage from Kimmy to someone like Bubble.
Yeah, it's gonna be even less for someone like Anthony who pit later, as Discharge is
Oh.
gonna kill his tires, completely ruined.
And the restart's kind of jumbled up. But can he get back in line? Yeah, he can.
Green flag
Wow.
flies here. Restart. Lap 116 complete. Lap 117 has begun. And it is all to play for with. The strategy as Bubble leads them into turn one, but it's not going to be easily held off as Anthony's looking and pressuring behind. And then it's Axe and Fard. 2 cars close by.
Wow, Nico was all over the rear of Kimmy. Almost spun him out, but
And
Kimmy managed to
they're
stay
all the way
alive.
back up to 3rd and 4th already. So that's huge for them. On the
Dude,
fresher
yeah.
tires, here comes Kimmy into 3rd with momentum on Axe.
Dude, if Kimmy gets around, I would be surprised if he ran Bubble down. Or ran Bubble down, I mean.
Nico is not quite as lucky as Kimmy. He pushed Kimmy, but couldn't quite stay there. But Kimmy on the bottom, he's lost some momentum doing that. He's got to get back in line here, regain that composure, get his momentum up. Now he's ripping the
what an
top. He's
entry.
going for it.
What an entry that was for Kimmy, but he's going to get rubbed by Ryder.
gets
It's going
run
to take a little
into.
bit away from him.
And that's going to side draft him a little bit too. He's back clear again, but still that momentum lost is tough to get back.
And real quick, if anyone doesn't know what the side draft is, if you're the following car and you get right to the rear corner panel of the guy in front of you, the air coming off of your nose is dumped onto the rear spoiler of the car ahead of you, and so it creates more drag and it pulls them back. It's just like they've got a rope tied around them, and you just start pulling them backward.
Yeah, it is pretty much like a lasso. You kind of grab the car next to you and pull them back to you. Give me with a switch back there off the exit. Better momentum. He's going to clear again, but that's this isn't the fight he wants to be in. He wants to be pulling that kind of move on Bubble, who's now 2 seconds down the road. But Axe is running consistent on the top right now, and as long as he's doing that, it's going to be very difficult for Kimmy to find a way past.
Yeah, if Axe keeps running the top like that, if he just runs it cleanly, man, it's going to be tough to pass him, and Bubble's going to love that.
I mean, Bubble pulled away like a second that lap over Axe. And Kimmy and Ryder lost even more than that. So they're fighting and going slowly.
Yeah, the gap's going to be well over 3 seconds, assuming the Bubble doesn't make a mistake here. And by the way, he's back up to the top, so you assume he's not saving anything at this point. Yeah, almost 4 seconds. If Bubble just keeps putting in quali laps and this thing goes green all the way to the end, it's hard to see anyone competing with him.
Yeah, I mean, Kimmy can't get past Ryder. Ryder keeps bouncing off the wall while keeping them side by side somehow. That's terrible. They're just losing so much time doing this.
See if Axe has anything. Axe is also ripping the top. It looks like he's got a good exit, so curious where the gap is now that they've both had a clean lap, him and Bubble, and it's keep going up. Wow.
Yeah, when a clean lap for both is almost half a second on an oval, that's a huge pace
It's not going
difference.
to matter. It's not even going to matter because Axe has just ran the wall through 1 and 2, and now he's got Ryder going to his inside and Kimmy following right behind him. So it's like even if you do run a clean lap and see that you're not getting a lot of time, then he just runs into the wall and it doesn't matter.
And now we've got a battle for second up here between Ryder and Kimmy. This is going to be well ways behind the battle for the lead between Bubble and the wall.
God forbid these guys work together.
Maybe Nico and Kimi can. They're on the same strategy. Ryder just completely decided to make out with the wall out of turn 2. I don't think we can show that on the screens without being demonetized, because that was terrible. And now Axe has just put Nico into the wall.
Dude.
So hopefully Kimi can kind of pull away and put in laps, see if it's even close in pace. It's up to 8 seconds to Bubble, who's just gone. By the time these cars hit turn 1, Bubble's exiting turn 2.
Be an absolute masterclass out of Kimi if he managed to pull away from these guys and catch Bubble, but
he's not running top. He's gonna be slow. Axe is running faster than him. Nico's running faster than them both. And they're gonna fight, and they're gonna fight, and they're gonna lose everything.
Yep. Man, I don't understand it. It's like as soon as someone gets in front of them, they either hit the wall and lose it, or they run the middle of the track and they have no shot at catching Bubble.
Yeah, see a timing and scoring error. That extra 0 is supposed to round up to a 9, so it's actually 9 seconds right there, the gap between Bubble and Kimi.
Well, you know, if there's another caution, then all of this is out the window.
Yeah, definitely. We've been green for 10 laps. Bubble's pulled a 10-second lead. So which means we could see Bubble lap the entire field by the time we see the checkered flag.
Yeah, do we know what the lap time is around here?
It's definitely not longer than 30 seconds. That's about how much time Bubble has. Bubble has 35 laps to do it. Second lap, that'll get it done.
Boy, that would be a little bit embarrassing for everyone else.
Yeah, especially on fresher tires for the likes of Kimi. His caution is out. Someone has gone off. Fard rear end damage. That's going to be his first reset.
And just like that, that whole gap is wiped away from Bubble. And honestly, you hate to see it because he's completely dominated. He's like obviously the fastest. He should totally just have this in the bag. But someone has a mistake, maybe even just completely by themselves, and now Kimi's right there again. Once you get in the mob, it's difficult to get out of it. And that's always the unfortunate thing about having a gap like Bubble did and just seeing it erode away with another caution.
Yeah, one other thing here with the caution at this moment, we're probably going to see pits open next time around. And I wonder if we're going to see someone go to scuff sets. Maybe they've got a better set sitting on pit road. You know, really interested to see what's going to happen there. Do we see some drivers try to pit for a tire advantage? It may not matter, such as the pace advantage of Bubble, but you know, whatever you think you can try to do to get some kind of advantage over your competitors. We could see some interesting strategy choices here. I want to say it was getting closer to 20 to go.
So Michael King Jr. in the chat says he hopes Bubble wins. So Bubble, you have a fan in there, at least, but honestly, I kind of agree.
Yeah, me too, honestly. It's been a masterclass from Bubble.
Yeah.
It's been a W drive right since the green where he made it into the lead after 3 laps. Started from last. Championships provision shows why we have it. The 2-time champion has been cooking. And, yeah, we're going to see the green with 20 to go. It's really interesting to see if 20 laps is going to be enough to make some of these drivers pit. Or alternatively, if the leaders pit, you know, the leader's in a tough spot. If the leader pits, you know, everybody could just stay out, and then you're, like you said, stuck in the mob. We'll just have to wait and see what happens as we come off of turn 4 and get closer to that commitment cone.
Oh boy. No way is that actually happening right now.
Bubbles coming in. Lots of drivers are staying out. There are 3 more drivers in the back that have decided to pit. That's going to help Bubble out a little bit. Bubble has had terrible pit stops all day. Let's see if something changes here and he doesn't lose even more spots. Kimi is going to become your leader. And assuming all goes well with Bubble's pit stop, he's going to have 6 cars to pass. I would like to mention we actually lost Turdy there. Bubbles is going slowly on the pits. He wants to start last.
So, I don't remember how many laps it was from the last caution to this caution, but do you imagine Kimi's tires are any less than 80%?
I don't think so. I mean, we made it. I think we went 13 laps or so. You know, Bubble had gone. I thought he had gone like 7 or 8, and it was at 96%. I feel like his Kimis are gonna be a little under 90, maybe. It's really hard to just guess what it might be.
Right. It's just not obvious to me that the tire advantage for those cars that pit, and maybe we can get an update on that. I know it was Bubble, Ford, I guess DJ, Cookie. Another thing is Bubble doesn't even go onto a fresh set. He's definitely on a scuff. So, but anyhow, even in the maximized tire advantage from a fresh set to a worn set for Kimi, I didn't think the pace advantage would be that much anyway. But, you know, now thinking about this fact that Bubble's on a scuff and he's in the last, I just don't see how he could carve his way through to compete with Kimi unless something just absolutely chaotic happens here.
We're going to keep an eye on it. Nerves are high. We've got 10 cars left in this race. Coming to see the restart. Green flag is out. Everyone is rolling. It is a tightly packed and contested restart as Nico with the jump on the outside. He's going to take the lead. He's clear out ahead. And all eyes are on the 48 car immediately to the top lane. Oh, looks like Fard just lost it by himself on the bottom.
He's going to be out. He is out.
Caution is going to come back out because Fard is out of the race.
Yeah, that's the DNF for him.
That was the weirdest crash I've ever seen. One of the more realistic Roblox crashes I've seen, but probably the weirdest one.
So Kimi will be on the outside, right? So Nico will have the lead coming to the next restart. I don't think anyone's going to come down to the pits. They might even go green next time.
Yeah, they should go green next time. Fard had no sets left, and he blew a tire. Oh, boy. What kind of position are the rest of these drivers in?
That's true. You know, I remember whenever Fard was the, you know, I guess the first guy to go into his last set.
Yeah, but he said it restarted with 0%. Were all his tires on, like, 0%? Like, surely, you know, surely he would have had one set of scuffs over there by pitting more often. I mean, even if it's one set of scuffs over there on 40%, you know, you got to pit for it and not risk blowing a tire and you know, wrecking out.
It must be kind of a low percentage, a low percent probability once you hit that 20% wear mark. If for him to finally blow it at 0% is kind of like, man, I would have thought something would have happened before that.
Yeah, I think so. I think it might be a pretty low percentage, and then it increases as you get closer to 0. I think that's what it was. So you can probably go pretty far into the 20% range, but a couple laps on a caution, helping the tires out. And I'm just so curious if Fard was completely out of sets and 0%, like what kind of position are these drivers in? Because we've still got, you know, over 15 laps to go in this race.
Are we green this time, or?
We should be green this time. I believe he said we were, yeah. We're going double file. We're going to be green this time. We're down to 9 cars in this race.
So what kind of restart we get here? Kimi's ahead of Nico at the restart.
Didn't get a great restart, though. I don't think it matters too much.
And they're both at the apron, him and Oscar. That's a bit of a weird restart. Kimi ahead, but Nico gets a better run, so he hits the line first. But he's also at the apron, so I don't know what they say about everything that happened there.
I have no idea. Race control started last, so we probably didn't see it. Oh, and there's contact between Axe and Kimi and Nico. Kimi sliding down the track into the wall, rear end damage. That's going to be a caution. Once again, we cannot get this race restarted going. And that's going to be his first reset on the night for Kimi.
I bet you Kimi wrecked that on purpose. Hey, Kimi is well capable of reeling that car in and staying off the wall. But if he does that, he's the only car around and there's no caution. So I think he just took the reset there to get backed up again.
I wouldn't blame him if that's what he did.
Well, the laps are coming down and you still have the freshest tires in the back.
We're going green this time. Kimi is not in his car. Is Kimi
Come
just
on, Kimi,
retiring
catch
from the
up.
race? He says no tire sets left. He doesn't want to race. DNF. Kimi is going to be out, credited with a 9th place finish.
What in the world? Is he saying that because everyone else is coming to pit?
No, we're going green this time. Maybe
What in
because of that spin, it just killed his tires, and like he just no more.
Oh.
That's another thing. Spinning out completely kills your tire wear. Like just kills it. So I mean, maybe cars that have spun just do not have the tire sets to make the end of the race.
I totally forgot about that. I do, but how in the world does he not have a scuff to go on? You know, just
no
one
idea.
moderate scuff to go on for the end.
Yeah, I mean, if you're saying DNF from the race, I've got to think every single set of tires on there is like 5%, 10%, like done.
Yeah.
We're down to 8 cars. See if we can get it going again here. Can everybody make it to the end?
I feel like Bubble's the favorite at this point. With the pace and the fresher tires.
Yeah, it looks like it. Nico was kind of on the same strategy as Kimi throughout this entire race. Keep an eye on the 25 car.
So what have we got? 16 to go here.
Yep, as we've got a clean restart there from everybody. Side by side up in the lead. Nico and Axe side by side. Cookie losing positions further back. Bubble's going to pick up a spot there.
Plenty of time to carve through the back, man. Look at him soar around the outside.
That's just what he does. He does that best. He's to the outside of Discharge. He's got momentum. There's going to be cars on the wall ahead of him. He gives Anthony a push. He's clear around the outside. He just passed everybody around the outside.
Crazy,
He's up in the 4th. 15 to go.
That's crazy. Can anyone run the top like Bubble? Dude, he's going to go underneath Oscar.
He's just got so much more speed, more momentum. He's going to push Nico. He's still got momentum. He's going 3 wide up the middle. There's a small fade from Axe, but it's not quite there.
Oh, he sends it into 3. Can he
Up
get
the
above
middle.
Axe? No, Axe is going over back around the outside.
Oscar's going to have big momentum if he stays out of the wall.
Nico's still there, and Oscar's got a good run. Oh,
And
Oscar's
Axe
going to go to
clear
the
out
outside.
ahead. Here comes Oscar around the top. And that shows you just how far into the corner Bubble sent it, because he had a terrible exit and lost all that momentum down the front straightaway. But now here he comes again on the bottom. Getting the side draft on Oscar. 3 wide right there for a second, but then Axe is clear out ahead.
What a great fight from all the guys with Bubble, because Bubble just cars through. It looks like he's just going to take it away. But Axe runs the top. He runs the top consistently. Probably not as fast as Bubble, but he runs it consistently.
Bubble wants
So
the
he
outside.
always
It's not there.
If he always gets the run on the outside, it's going to be next to impossible for Bubble to actually make a pass in the middle to the bottom of the track.
Oh, Bubble with the switchback. He pushed Axe into the corner just a little bit. Now they're side by side down the back.
Bubble, you think Bubble's going to send it into 3 and maybe get to the top before Axe can get back to his right rear?
So does that leave him open to a switchback? Bubble's going to run the bottom kind of cleanly by himself. Maybe counting
Axe
on
is gonna
mistake
be
from Axe.
there.
Oh, the switchback!
Oh, crossover. Can he clear him before he gets into 1? He does. Wow. Dude, what fight for Axe? That's crazy.
Yeah. And now it's go time. We've got 12 laps to go. If you can make it to the end, Axe is so slow off of 2. Here comes Bubble.
Always to the outside. You think What in the world? Did Bubble slow down?
It did. He did slow down. We were on board with him. Bubble definitely slowed down right there for some reason. I'm not super sure why. Oh, was he typing? He was typing. He said, "My bad."
Dude, I'm so impressed with Axe so far because it looked like Bubble was just invincible, and then Axe with the crossover coming out of 4. Honestly, I thought they were going to have an almighty coming together out of 4 because I felt like Axe was going to try to sneak up to the right rear corner on the exit, but then the crossover was so beautiful.
Yep, Bubble right along the top right here, keeping the momentum up. Look how much faster he is in the corner. Is he in the wall, though? He does. He hits the wall. He smacks the wall, knocks it down. Everybody passes Bubble. He's only got 10 laps to recover.
Oscar just sneaked by, dude. He almost ran right into the back of Bubble, but he got to the outside.
I mean, Bubble's still under fire here. He's got to get that momentum back up. There he goes.
10 laps to make it an absolute beautiful comeback for Bubble if he can make it happen.
And I mean, after dominating the whole race, it's kind of the hero of the story if he could get it done. Everybody's running the top now. They've decided it's go time. That's the place to be. Bubble with extra pace. He kind of walls Anthony there a little bit.
Dude, he's coming back just about as quickly as he lost it.
Yeah, I mean, he gets momentum off the corner, and he's just flying. It was at the expense of Anthony. Oscar's in the wall ahead of him.
He's going to clear Cookie because the run's just super crazy.
I said he had 10 laps. There's 9 laps to go, and he's in the same spot he was. Oh, he's sending it to the bottom. He's going so fast. He's so ridiculously deep into the corner. Oh, my gosh. X keeps the lead, but that was insanity up the inside.
Dude, I was expecting him to do something like that when he was actually going ahead into the corner like a couple laps before. But that was from, I mean, it's 6-7 car lengths back. That was never going to stick.
I can't believe he didn't knock the wall down doing that move. Oh, it puts Cookie in the wall ahead of him.
I was going to say, you can see how bad the run you get out of the corner is when you send it like that because Cookie got, back ahead of him.
Oh, Cookie's going to be in the wall.
Yep.
Bubble got around without too much issue.
Oh, boy.
And he still got momentum.
What's it going to be this time, dude? Oh, he's got a great run.
He's going to push him. He's going to the inside now. Look at the inside of the 9 car. Side by side into turn 1. Bubble on the inside. He sends it again. This time he's clear out in front.
You got to get up, but X is going to have momentum. Now, that's just textbook right there. That's textbook.
Yep, covered off the exit perfect.
Sorry, send it into 1, I mean. But if you can get back to the top before the exit, you cut off any run he has. But Axe is back there again.
He's using him up. He's going to put him in the wall. No!
He gave him just enough room, dude.
That was
got the momentum.
Millimeter perfect. And now they're aggressively side drafting. 6 laps to go. The battle for the win. Bubble versus Axe.
Is Axe going to have a run here? I mean, Bubble's gone right back to the bottom.
Oh, Axe is in the wall.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
I hear spinning. I hear spinning behind. Who is that? That's Oscar. Oscar spinning. Oh, a huge hit! A huge hit! There is Anthony T-boned Oscar, and Oscar gets front-end damage. Caution is going to be out. 4 laps to go.
Oh my gosh, he got absolutely T-boned by Anthony. It's like Anthony saw him and was just like, here I go. That was ridiculous, dude. Dude, I hope Anthony's recording because that just looks silly. Just no evasive maneuver at all. Just sees a sideways car in front of it. It's just like, here we go.
Well, I would like to note, with the turn adjusters, it is impossible to turn on the straightaways.
Oh, that's right. I forget about that.
Oh, and Anthony also has a flat tire after that. He's running into the side of Bubble. I think he's upset about when Bubble put him in the wall. Is that Anthony, like, out of tire sets? Like, with a flat here and maybe no more?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought for a second. I was like, is he done? He's got to be done, dude. The fact that Kimmy was done.
Probably so. But, Nico is on the same strategy as Kimmy, and Nico's still doing okay. We'll see.
Someone's 0%. Who's saying that? Rasco? Who's Rasco?
Oscar. That's Oscar.
Oscar. Okay, so he's at 0%.
Pits are going to be open right here. Anthony is riding around with the right rear flat under yellow.
He's got to have a good scuff to go on to. That's the only reason why he's not stopping. That's got to be it. What a meme, though. Watching Anthony slide around on the apron with a flat tire.
All right. Yep, everybody's pitting. Anthony trying to keep it under control here. Going into the pits. Bubbles going to take that
Let's see
first stall.
Bubble is going to get the worst.
Let's see if Bubble can come back with 2 laps.
Oh my gosh. This is going to be ridiculous coming to the end.
I mean, who has what tires to go to? Other cars have DNF because they say they have 0 sets left. Anthony's tire pops back up. Anthony's got tires.
Dude, you know what Anthony
Bubbles in the grass again in the pits. Oh.
I bet you Anthony, even though Anthony was just in the wreck there. Remember, he was so late to pit in the first stint. I bet you he has a good scuff left.
Probably. He's probably got a good scuff left. We're going to see the green with 3 to go. That's how long it took Bubble to go from 12th to the lead. At the start of the race, we'll see if he can go from 8th to the lead at the end of the race.
I was going to say, is there a disagreement between Oscar and Anthony who's got position here?
I'm not sure.
I guess Anthony's conceding now.
I thought Anthony was behind.
How many laps are we coming to here?
We're coming 3 to go. Oh, maybe there is a
gosh.
disagreement. Oscar gets knocked down the track by Anthony. Anthony typing says Oscar. Releases the pacing by saying the R. What was that send? So I think it was just more being upset. Let's see if Oscar has a reply. What you mean?
By the way, Ryder said he's going to win for Kimi, so expect Ryder to absolutely send it here.
All right. Are we going to get to green this time?
I don't. They got to figure out who's got the position.
I think they've got it figured out. I think they just wanted to run into each other for the entire duration of the caution. So here we go.
Okay.
Double file, getting going. 8 cars. 8 cars, 3 laps.
Who can carve through the field, through the carnage?
Green flag flies. It's a huge restart for the inside lane. Discharge on the bottom. We haven't talked about discharge in a while. Watch that 48 machine. He's in last.
Yeah, Axe may have this, man. Axe may have this in the bag.
He may. Here comes Ryder. Ryder with a big move back to the outside.
He's going to give him the outside completely. He was afraid of this end.
That's huge.
Momentum, though.
Bubble started hitting people up the track. You know what that means. We're coming to 2 to go. Bubble on the apron. Bubble's trying to be a hero back there. 2 laps to go.
I don't know if they have anything for Axe. Remember, Axe was on the same strategy as Anthony earlier.
Here comes Ryder with the big sin up the inside. Oh, Bubble is so fast. Here comes Bubble. Bubble's going to go with a huge hit of steam. Here comes the Bubble, the Wonder Boy.
Oh, my gosh, he's pushing Ryder.
Here he comes.
He's going to go 3 wide, I think. No.
He is. He's up the middle. Here comes Bubble, the Wonder Boy. He's taking the lead. Coming to the white flag. Bubble with the lead.
I can't, dude.
Here comes Oscar and Ryder in the dirt. Oh, and Ryder, he just wrecked him. So it's a huge hit of the outside wall. Oh, a huge hit of the inside wall after that. Oh, shit is out. Bubble, the Wonder Boy, the most deserving winner.
I can't believe Bubble won after all that, dude. What a way for him to win. He could have won this thing about 4 different ways, and he wins in the second to last lap 3 wide move into 4.
Axe and Ryder just couldn't do it anymore. Ryder was technically on his last car. I guess that's a DNF. Maybe an 8th place finish for Ryder. We'll have to look at that instant again.
No, it's not over.
Oh, I forgot. Caution on the white is 1 overtime. We're going to keep going.
Oh my gosh, dude. I thought it was over because caution came after the white flag.
Ryder is Ryder's on his last car, but he already used a reset, so I guess he's gotten an extra car from race control. Wait, DNF, sorry. All right, we figured it out. Although, it looked like a pretty controversial wreck. I can't really tell. It kind of looked like Axe was just kind of right rear hooking him into the outside wall, but we'll look at that after the race, I suppose.
Dude, I know Bubbles quickest, but Axe was on the same strategy as Anthony earlier. I bet you Axe has a better scuff set than Bubble right now. And if he's starting on the outside and gets a good run to the green, I bet you Axe can win this.
I mean, it's all going to depend on the push.
That's true, because the
line
is
gets the
getting
better
a crazy
push?
good push. Yeah, we see the car in first get well ahead of the field if the inside line gets a good push, which almost always happens.
Well, here we go. One more overtime to end the second round of Bubbles Cup Season 5. It's an early green. Bubble with a huge jump. There is no push. Anthony gets pushed down into the grass. That's the only one that happened. And Bubble is out well ahead of Axe and Oscar, the next two closest cars.
Yeah, it's probably over, unless Oscar has something for him.
Or if Bubble decides to start saving tires around the very bottom of the track, that's kind of the only chance. Oscar's running higher than Bubble right now, but he doesn't have the minimum speed. Look, Bubble just pulls around the entire corner.
Yeah, Bubble's got it.
White flag in the air. A caution now ends the race.
He's got it. He deserved to have it, and he's got it after a lot of chaos. Unless he hits the wall.
That's pretty much the only thing stopping him from victory here in 3 and 4. He's weaving down the back straightaway. One more time out of turn 4. It's been a dominant show of pace here from Bubble the Wonder Boy, and he is going to bring it home to win the Sam's Town 300 at Las Vegas. Oscar brings it home second. There's a fight for third. I think Nico got Axe. Then it's Cookie. Then Anthony Discharge. That's your top 8. And then the DNF cars, which is Kimmy, Fard, Turdy. Ryder, Kimmy, Fard, Turdy, and then DJ. And that's your finishing positions here from Las Vegas. Bo the Wonder Boy comes away with the win after a dramatic race.
Great win for him. Yeah, that's just amazing. I mean, he had incredible pace, was obviously faster than everyone. And then made incredible moves. Made incredible moves at the beginning of the race to take first in 2 laps. And then to get the lead before the last restart by going 3 wide through the middle, by the way. It's not like he had to run around the outside. He goes through the middle, clears him out of 4 before the caution comes out. And then, I don't know how he gets the jump on the overtime restart, but gets a good jump and then just gaps the field. I mean, it's clinical. The entire race has been clinical.
Everyone else brings it into the pits. Bubble will come to park it on the front straightaway. And I'm really interested to talk to these drivers about their tire sets. I want to get a couple interviews here.
I'm so curious. I'm so curious about who had the best tires.
Oh, Bubble's going to slide it through the grass here. Celebration.
Plenty of highlights for Bubble this race.
We might get a quick replay.
If we could see that 3 wide move before the last restart, that was amazing.
That was pretty awesome.
It didn't even seem like he was going to go for it. I mean, it seemed like he was going to kind of back out of it.
Oh, and Bubbles flipped himself over in celebration. And he's still celebrating. He just wanted to put some sparks up for the fans.
While that's going on,
Yeah,
can you pull anyone to this stage and get an interview?
Really quick, I want to get an angle of that overtime finish. We're going to get a quick replay.
That's right.
Yeah, as we look right here, this is the restart. It's already happened. Anthony down in the grass. Bubble, I mean, it's just Bubble pulling away in this entire restart. We're going to get 2 laps of Bubble dominance once again.
Yeah, does anyone have the 3 wide move?
We're gonna skip ahead a little bit here in the replay, as yeah, it's just Bubble pulling well away. Maybe we'll get a view of the fight for third. I think Axe might have made a mistake and Nico capitalized.
Bubble's still in the infield.
Yeah, Bubble clean out ahead, wins. And then it's tight for third. We'll have to look at that a little bit more. And yeah, let's see if we can get a clip here of the 3-wide move.
That was actually really entertaining. Most people ran pretty clean, which is surprising to me.
Yeah, I think they did overall. Like, people were pretty good. There were some questionable moves at the end. I think we are gonna have a clip here of that move here. This is before the overtime restarts. You see Ryder and Axe side by side battling. Bubble gets to the outside of Oscar. We're looking for it. He kind of pushes Ryder right there. And then it doesn't look like he's going to make a move. Axe fades down. Then Bubble throttles up through the middle of the corner. Axe is right up on the top. He doesn't really go very fast. Bubble squeaks by on the exit. And then let's watch this. This is going to be an incident to watch. Oscar fighting. And then Axe fully turns and wrecks Ryder into the outside wall. That's not looking too good for Axe. So we'll have to come back to some words on that from Race Control, perhaps. But for right now, we have Bubble the Wonder Boy here in Victory Lane, and see if we can't get some interviews. I'd really love some interviews.
Anybody but Bubble. I don't want to talk to them.
I'm really interested to hear about these tire sets, though. That's what I really want to hear about. That's the most interesting part of this race to me, because that was, really no idea what was happening with tire sets.
Hey, we gotta have some kind of change there so we can see the percent. I don't know how easy that would be for you guys to put that in there.
It's like Bubble's theme music has just started playing spontaneously.
Yeah.
And somehow it's just started going.
That's literally my song, and they start playing.
All right, we're rocking out. We can no longer hear Lil Man Hurry because the music is blaring in this game. It's like Bubble has decided it's time for us to exit the stream. No interviews. He's playing our outro music.
Because, hey, this song is pretty good.
That song is pretty good. Well, that is going to conclude our coverage for the second round of Season 5 of the Bubbles Cup Championship here in Las Vegas. As always, this coverage is brought to you by Builderbrain, the cutting-edge AI study tool. Head over to builderbrain.ai to ace your classes and win back your weekend. And then make sure to tune in next Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, for the third race of the 5th season of Bubbles Cup. As we finally get Bubble up in here after that music. I started doing the outro because you're playing the outro music for me. Oh, it's playing again. Oh, we better end it. We better get out of here.
Good
Oh,
night.
no.